are live from Off the Grid Studios. Well, we had different things that we were going to say on that one, but hey, same thing. It's all true. No fake news here.
As truthful as we can freaking be, as truthful as this Durham Report.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this Durham Report is definitely true. Something to talk about tonight for sure. Let me adjust some things.
Listen to that sweet old saxophone.
Woo! All right.
GTA 5. I freaking love that game.
All right, guys. So we got a pretty jam-packed
a lot
headlines.
to talk about.
Pretty much as always, we have a lot of good stuff to discuss.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys, we've been off for like a couple weeks now.
Yeah, which we apologize.
But then again, we had a huge broadcasting extravaganza. We had an all-nighter.
Yeah, we did.
So we had some serious fun with that.
Yes, and by the end of the night, we were just like...
We were so out of it, dude. Like, we just did not have the wits with us to continue.
Yes.
We had to call it for the night because it was like we were completely wasted by the end of the night.
Right?
And tired. It's like, dude, we work, very early in the morning.
Yes.
Both of us do. And so by the time, we were wrapping up.
Well, we didn't that day, but still. Remember, I was off, but still.
I worked that day. If it was Friday, if I remember correctly, the day we started hanging out.
Oh, wait, you said we worked before we... Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we worked earlier that morning. But anyways, the first thing that we're going to be talking about tonight, guys, is pretty big.
Yeah. Something
that we kind of haven't discussed because we didn't have the chance to yet.
And I think I'm going to have all the facts out as well, right?
Yeah, and it's also kind of nice to have a better idea of what's going on with the case. And it's pretty obvious, I think, at this point, what's going on here.
Yeah.
And you'll find out what we're talking about here shortly. But what we're talking about is the Jordan Neely death.
Yes.
Which happened it
was in
last Friday.
Yeah, and it was in New York.
In New York City. It happened on a subway. And this is the article from CNN. This is a more recent article from CNN. I don't think this one is super old. Hold on, sorry guys. No.
Oh no, why am I yawning?
Moving stuff around, the wrong thing.
It's not fun.
Yeah, I'm just trying to adjust. There we go.
Thank goodness we're using CNN though.
Oh. And we have a black screen now. Oh, I love it. I love this streaming software. Here, let's try that. And let's give it a transition. There we go.
Hey!
All right.
Look, there's magic.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Woo!
So,
so.
And
do you want the news summarized
stupid ass
each morning?
pop-up? I do not want your news. Thank you very much. So this is from CNN. It says, Jordan Neely, the man killed in chokehold on NYC subway, is remembered as an entertainer shattered by his mother's murder. Let's see. Before Jordan Neely was killed on a New York City subway car this week, he was known for his swift Michael Jackson dance moves that entertained many, yet he struggled with the trauma his mother's murder had left him with at an early age. Quote, he told me about how much his mother's passing impacted him. He disclosed that she was murdered and her body was put in a suitcase. Moses Harper, an artist who knew Neely, told CNN. Harper and Neely became friends quickly after they met in 2009. When she took him under her wing, Neely opened up to her about how hard it was losing his mother as a young teenager. Quote, it traumatized him. He was not expecting that, the brutal way she was taken. They had a big impact on him. The brutality behind that traumatized him, Harper told CNN. This kid has cried in front of me that hurt him in his heart. So, of course, that was like a little bit of a backstory that CNN decided to cover. And then, of course, Neely's death triggers protests. I mean, we knew this was going to be a thing that would happen, especially in New York, of all places.
Yeah.
So, of course, this is a little bit of the backstory on what happened on that subway that day. It says on Monday afternoon, Neely was killed after being held in a chokehold by a Marine veteran on a subway after Neely got on the train and shouted at passengers that he was hungry, thirsty, and fed up with having nothing. A witness told CNN Neely, who was experiencing homelessness, according to a source familiar with his case, did not harm anyone, nor did they see him armed with any weapon. An attorney for the veteran on Friday identified him as Daniel Penny, who's 24. Quote, Daniel never intended to harm Mr. Neely and could not have foreseen his untimely death, end quote. The law firm Razier and Kenneth, we hope that out of the awful tragedy will come a new commitment by our elected officials to address the mental health crisis on our streets and subways. And of course, the 30-year-old's death was ruled a homicide, but it does not mean that there was intent or culpability, which is a matter for the criminal justice system to consider, a spokesperson for the New York City Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. And that's probably about all that.
Well, at least they admit that.
At least CNN admits that, but you have to scroll down pretty far. As you can tell, like, that was not a leading paragraph. You know, that was not the leading paragraph to explain, instead it's like, the man killed in chokehold is remembered as an entertainer shattered by his mother's murder. Like, it's portrayed as, like, look at his life and what his legacy was. And, people remember him as this. No, people remember him as a drug addict lunatic that was threatening people on that subway that day. Right?
Yeah.
At least, I mean, if you're a regular...
Well, let's take this out of the equation for a second, Judd.
Okay.
I do agree that he is an absolute lunatic.
Okay.
And he was threatening people. But the Marine, okay?
Okay.
First of all, they have training. So that attorney is one, and he says there was no way that he couldn't have known that he was killing them. There's this program called MICMAP that they go through for 2 weeks where they train on how to use, like, martial arts on the ground, how to defend yourself, how to punch people, how to use your weapon. And there's something that they use called a rear naked choke, which in the video looked like what he was using. Within 10 seconds, you're dead with using that. So during training, what they do in MIGMAP, right, specifically the Marine training, what they do is they go like this. As soon as they squeeze like this, they go, and then they let go. So there's no way that the Marine veteran would not have known that holding that for any longer than 10 seconds would have at least caused him to go unconscious.
But he put him in a recovery position after he realized that
the damage was already
responding.
done. His artery had already been clotted so much. With so much pressure. Because that's what's called a blood choke. It's not crushing your lungs. It's cutting off blood to your brain. And that's what kills you.
Gotcha.
So if that's what he applied, then that can kill very quickly. Now, was it right for the dude to... They were both in the one, I feel. Because that dude, first of all, shouldn't have even been on the train in the first place. Spouting off a bunch of whatever he was spouting off. And threatening people, as you said. It doesn't matter if you have a weapon. Like, just don't threaten people.
Well, I think that I think it's still a little early to make a judgment call
like
on...
I said, there probably are still more facts needed to
And
come
again,
out.
they're going through a court case right now to try to decide if this officer is guilty or innocent, or if... I mean, he may have some charges ultimately.
Yeah. As manslaughter, I could see being one.
But I still consider him a hero.
Yeah.
For, preventing, a worse situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have ended up as, the Jordan Neely beating up a bunch of people on the subway that day. You know, we don't know what could have happened.
Yeah.
That's like if someone has a heart attack on a plane,
Yeah.
and they're always like, well, is there any trained medical personnel on this plane?
Yeah.
This guy's having a heart attack. Well, you know, it's in the same case. It's like, well, you need someone trained to be able to handle a crazed lunatic that is threatening people.
Yeah.
It's sad that this Jordan Neely did not get the mental help that he needed. Apparently his family, I didn't see it in this article, but then again, I didn't read all the way through. But I did hear about his family like saying, oh, he was such a great man and stuff. It's like, well, then they were talking about how bad it was that he died and all that. It's like, well, okay, you should have made sure he had a home.
Yeah.
That he shouldn't have been living on the street. If
I was gonna wonder when you really address that, because like it sounded like it was literally just like a homeless situation.
Yeah, and I
like at
I
least
think
go to a
that's
shelter
right.
or something. Like,
Well, his family were saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's so terrible this happened to him." It's like, well, it was also terrible that he was on the street for as long as he
they
was.
left him walking
Yeah.
for as long as
D-
through New York, mind you.
Okay.
He could get raped at any moment.
And also
like-
remember, as family, you're supposed to help each other out.
Yeah.
Like in these
Yeah.
types of situations, like you would expect your family to say, "Hey, come live with us."
And maybe he did some stuff that was reprehensible, but still, like,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what else.
I just think it's one of those situations that like you were gonna lose either way.
Yeah.
In like my opinion, you would have lost because Neely would have started beating people up, or you would have lost with what happened with people calling this Marine a murderer.
I personally am
Which
going,
I mean, it is a murder. Don't get me wrong, it is a murder.
but
But it wasn't premeditated. At least I
is-
believe it wasn't.
or is it something that is chargeable?
Right.
Can you
Is
put
he
him
even
away?
charged-
And,
right.
can you put him in prison for it?
Right.
Yeah.
But no, we knew there was going to be protests because of just what it was.
Yeah.
It was a black man that died at the hands of a
And the thing
white
is,
person.
and the thing is, there was a black man that was assisting the Marine
yeah.
to hold this guy down. So this was not.
This reminded me of that situation in on the train, on another train a couple years ago, where the Navy SEAL disarmed a dude with an AK-47, and he killed him. But he was, first of all, armed, so you know that this dude was already in the one. There was a terrorist, right, that was on this, it was in Paris. I don't know if you remember hearing about it, but there was a Paris train, and this terrorist walks in basically with an AK-47 ready to shoot people, and there happened to be a Navy SEAL on the train, gets him onto the ground and just starts wailing on him until he's dead. And he was praised as a hero. So, in my opinion, the only thing I would have said to the veteran is, listen, in my opinion, first of all, it's amazing that you had training to even handle that situation. But secondly, I would have waited until he started throwing punches, because then you have an excuse to actually take him down. Like, diffuse the situation, and then if it goes on, like, and you of all people being in the military should know that. Like,
but if this guy,
like military people just, contrary to popular belief, guys, military people a lot of the time just don't go in and start shooting people.
yeah,
A lot of it is is breaking down the door and then negotiating,
right,
even with terrorists. They secure the perimeter. They don't kill people unless they're being shot at. That's the number one rule in the military. Don't fire until fired upon.
yep,
Like, the same applies if there's some lunatic on a train. I mean,
yeah.
but other than that, no, he probably did prevent other people from getting hurt. And
Yeah, I mean, there's no saying what this guy was going to do. He was making threats, so we're not even sure if he was going to follow through with those threats, first of all.
Right.
But Now, if this guy was holding the gun and he's
Yeah,
pointing
no,
at
take him
people,
down, take him
like,
down,
take him out. I mean, there's no.
Yep.
You don't wait
He has
for
a
him
pistol in his hand.
you don't wait for him to shoot a bullet and then say, "Well, he shot. Now I can attack."
That's
you know?
why I like the SEAL story. That's why I contrasted this with the SEAL story, because it was like that dude actually in an AK-47 and like, nope, I'm not even waiting for you to fire. I'm going to get you, and that's what's happening. I agree. If he would have had a gun, get him down to the ground.
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
Don't waste any time.
But that wasn't the case here, so I'm like, okay, maybe you should wait a little bit, and then he might just get off the train when he's done with his little rant. You know, like...
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously mentally unstable.
Yes, of course, yes. No white person gets on a train and just starts spouting stuff about their own life, mind you.
Yeah.
So that they should probably keep to themselves about them being homeless. I mean...
And also, a lot of... Keep in mind that, at least in my opinion, I believe a lot of your most of everything is within your control, right?
Yep.
Like, okay, so every event in your life was preventable somewhat, usually.
Yeah.
So, like, if you are homeless, that was preventable. I mean, but of course, there's instances where you lose everything,
or you're born into it.
Right, but there's still ways of you can still lift your way out of it.
Don't rely on that's why I absolutely hate, and Jalen knows what I'm talking about here. That's why I absolutely hate the government's way that they help homeless people. No, they make it so that you rely on them.
They want
rather than the system I would use. Instead of just giving them welfare or whatever, it's like, listen, we'll give you money for a year, and then we're gonna send a social worker to help you find a job, and then over the course of a couple months, wheel back the amount of money we give you until you can make all that money yourself, and we don't need to give anything.
Or maybe like, giving them if we're going down the socialist welfare route, have the government, hand out a bonus for you getting a job.
Yeah.
Like...
Because at least you're working now, like, at least...
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll give you money for a year. We'll wean you off of it over time.
Yeah.
But we're going to give you that bonus if you get that job.
Yeah.
Because that's a sign that you're making the step
to getting
yourself back on your feet and being able to support yourself.
Yeah.
Because what happens is a lot of these people are out on the streets. They don't have a job or whatever. Then, they, have kids or whatever. And then it's like, what, dude, you should not be having kids if you are out on the street. And then you drag the kids into this kind of stuff.
You're going to create a family tree of just
homelessness,
sadness and poverty.
Again, that's a preventable thing. Like, that could have happened all the way back from the mother or the father, or both.
Whatever. Yeah.
They could have said, you know what, we're going to hold off, be responsible parents.
A lot of the time, it's a father that walks out, though, and the mother's left
to... Usually it is. Usually it's a father that walks out. And that's, again, we've talked about it in a previous podcast.
Yes, we have.
We've talked about how the family unit is not incentivized anymore.
Yeah.
Because
we mentioned that a bunch in our program, actually. We're bringing it up again right now.
Yeah, that's an issue with our government right now with giving handouts. They give handouts to single mothers.
Yeah.
So they incentivize, they're like, oh, well, I don't need the father in my life. The government will be the father. They'll hand me money.
You are the father.
Yeah. It's like Jerry Springer.
No, but seriously, though,
R.I.P. Jerry Springer, though.
Yeah.
He passed away a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Anyway, though, incentivizing what? No. No.
They should be incentivizing people to stay together.
And
if you're going to give out money.
We talked about, now, again, me and Jared, one of the very, very few things we disagree on, I believe, was the systemic racism thing in the cities. I was talking to him about how the projects are, in my mind, just a way to keep, black people in control, basically. I mean, and me and Joe differ on that a lot, but and that's okay, because we just have different opinions on it, and that's okay. But I was telling him about basically how the housing, like they make it so that they have to rely on the housing in order to, have any chance at life.
If we're gonna talk about that whole systemic racism thing, we have to also talk about the fact that, the people that are doing this would be the Democrats.
Well, yeah.
Like this is.
I'm not even gonna argue that. Yes,
this is
literally the people who claim to fight racism are the ones that are building these projects and keeping people in these areas. You are absolutely right, Judd. You're absolutely right.
Well, they call it Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
In the area? Yeah.
Yep.
They have that in Akron. A lot of those types of housing.
And you want to know why they never move out? Because they get help.
Yep. A lot of the Section 8 housing is, single parents.
Yeah. Again.
Single mothers.
Yeah. Again, like we were talking about, yes.
And it seems to be, and it's
a trend.
And it's very, it's very black heavy areas.
Yeah.
And a lot of, there's a very high percentage of black fathers not being in the homes.
Yeah.
Not this is not saying that this is,
just saying
this is just pointing out a fact.
You're saying the Section 8 area. Yeah, statistically speaking, yes.
Just in general.
Okay.
It's not necessarily just the Section 8 housing. It could be...
That's just an example that came to your head, yeah.
Overall in the United States.
It tends to be a lot of black heavy
communities, single mothers, because it's just not incentivized in that community per se. And a lot of that is on the government for not... for endorsing that kind of behavior.
Yes.
Because we are saying, oh, look, we'll give you, like Aiden was saying with Section 8 housing, we'll give you money, if you stay in these houses.
Yeah. No need to get a job. No need to do anything. We'll just give you money because we have an infinite amount of it, basically.
Now, I don't know if this is, I don't know if they're technically being intentional with, being, quote unquote, systemically racist, but it's coming
from
across
the Democrats,
that way.
though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
true.
So.
I mean, definitely. It's hard to tell, dude. But you know what I mean? Because they disguise it as we're trying to help you.
Yeah.
And then we're not sure what the intention behind it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether to say it's intentional that they say, live in these areas.
Well, I know
because we want you to keep you there, or we're actually trying to help you, trying to give you a home. But it just so happens that all these black people are living in the same area. You know what I mean?
And it's not actually doing anything, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it's intentional, per se.
That's the issue that we had, yeah.
I think that was what we were confused on. We kind of came to a stalemate.
What do you think? Personally, what do you think?
I don't think...
You don't think it is?
I like to look at the best in people.
Okay.
With all the negativity in our world today, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I occasionally like to, look at the positive here and say that I think that the Dems aren't meaning it to be that way.
Okay.
And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because I don't have evidence
that would be
really,
really evil.
Yeah. And I'm, only God would know what those intentions are. Hopefully I'm right. But, I could be wrong on that. And maybe it is a intentional thing, like, hey, you're staying here because you're black. You ain't gonna, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Why?
Joe Biden says that was complete accident because Joe Biden don't know what he's saying half the time. But
I mean, in my mind, though, what else would it be though, if not intentional? What
do you mean with Section 8 housing and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be unintentional. They're what I'm saying is that they're trying to help them out and say, oh, we're going to build all these houses, and, that way you're not out on the street. And then unintentionally, just because the black community is suffering from this problem, they're all in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but then the area goes to shit, though.
Yeah, because they put all these crime people,
crime-ridden
people in the same area.
Why don't then you put a neighborhood watch in, or
They do in some of these places, especially in some of these Akron homes.
Oh yeah,
I've driven past that says it'll say community watch or whatever. You know, I don't know if that actually does anything.
Yeah, some of these
per
places
se.
look scary. Like, they just...
It's a place you don't want to live.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain parts of Akron that, like, my fiance and I have talked about. Like, we do not want to go. Like, if we decide to live in Akron, which I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but if we did live in Akron, like, there's certain areas we know we're not going to go to.
Yeah.
Because we know these areas are high crime areas.
Yeah. Just don't move to Canton, please, Jude.
Oh, no. I'm
Then
not.
that's highest per capita for, like...
Crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta say Akron's bad. Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of options for us.
Yeah.
We just got to look at, like, taxes and driving to and from work. We want to have a good distance, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Akron isn't a bad distance for both of us to work.
Yeah,
like,
no.
eventually when she gets her job, she's planning on probably working here in Akron, actually. So we can't be too far from Akron.
Right.
I just don't know where we want to move to where it's kind of like equal between our driving routes, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not like driving 2 hours and she has like 20
What?
minutes. It's like, come on.
What? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yes.
I'm racking
yes.
up miles on my car,
Yes.
man. Anyways, also I've got one other article in reference to.
That was a good discussion. You know?
It was a good discussion. I enjoyed that. Let me pull
One
up.
other article in response.
So this one's kind of a cool article.
Yes, it's a little lighthearted.
This is in reference to what we just talked about.
The same guy who shot Bud Light with an AR.
Okay, that video. I think didn't we show that on our?
Yes, we
program?
did.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
Oh,
it was awesome.
No.
What was that? I wish you guys could have seen his face.
Let's do this.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a murderer. Okay.
Don't do that.
Don't talk like that.
Don't ya die.
From the Daily Wire. Says Mr. Penny is a hero. Kid Rock donates thousands to Marine veteran accused of killing Jordan Neely. Country star Kid Rock called Marine veteran Daniel Penny a, quote, hero, donating thousands to the campaign for the veteran/24-year-old college student accused of killing Jordan Neely. The 52-year-old singer-born Robert Ritchie joined some 50,000 people who have donated to the Give, Send, Go campaign that is listed as, quote, Daniel Penny's Legal Defense Fund. As of this publication, the online fundraiser has surpassed $2.5 million.
Oh, my gosh.
Ritchie is listed in the
Whoa.
top donation section, which shows that he donated $5,000. His post read, quote, Mr. Penny is a hero. Alvin Bragg is a POS. Kid Rock. I love him, man. He's awesome.
So cool.
Bragg is the Manhattan District Attorney who has charged Penny with second-degree manslaughter, the Daily Mail noted. Let's see.
Oh, my.
But anyways, that's like the whole article, technically.
He's a boss.
But,
Well, I just realized what that means.
oh, man.
Hakuna Matata, you piece of shit.
Hakuna Matata. Oh, man.
You piece of shit.
Yeah. Here we go. Hold up.
No.
There you go. You're welcome.
Bruh.
Okay. Quickly discussing the whole Kid Rock donation thing. That is pretty cool.
That is
first of all.
awesome.
And
2.5 million.
that's a lot of money.
Monies.
And hopefully
That's a lot of monies.
That's a lot of monies. That should be plenty of money for his defense fund.
Yes.
And, especially, paying off lawyers is expensive.
Big flipping
Um,
job.
What do you think is going to happen, though, through all this? Like, what's your gut feeling saying?
I honestly think he's just going to be charged with manslaughter
Yeah.
and maybe serve some time.
But I don't think it was saying like up to 15 years, but I don't think that's
That would
going
be
to
if
be
it
the
was
case.
murder. Probably.
Yeah, but I don't think I can't see him serving 15 years in prison for this. because it's not like I don't know. I personally don't think it was intentional to kill the man.
Right.
Um,
Same.
I can't say what's going on in his head.
But no,
know?
I don't think he intended to either.
Yeah.
But the fact remains, though, is that it still happened. It doesn't matter. The law says different.
Right.
You still killed a human being. No. It just depends on whether or not they decide to throw the book at him or not.
Yeah, throw him. It's like depends if they're gonna throw him in prison for the rest of his life, or, maybe he serves 5 years, 2 years. I don't know.
Right.
It sucks because
what's funny is that
he's our age.
We quickly forget about the Tyree Nichols case. Like, where was that at now? Like, what?
That's the one from Akron, right?
The one where he was beaten up literally by the cops.
Oh no, that was a different one. Okay, sorry, I was thinking of the
other famous one.
Yeah.
We forget already, guys. Okay. Okay,
We-
Democrats, on to the next thing, I guess.
We move on too quick,
Yeah.
and it's not because I don't know. It's not because we don't care about it per se. It's because there's so much in the headlines every single day. The headlines get flooded.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, we're talking about the next mass shooting or next, cop killing a, black man or whatnot. And it's like, okay. And then you got CNN that, like we just
tries to make it a sob story.
Yeah, make it a sob story and make us feel sad for him. And a good point to think about this is, do you think of Jordan Neely, like the first thing that you think about is
That
him
He was murdered.
him being murdered, but you also how do I word this? Like if you had no context about this guy
I know where you're going with this.
and just said
Yeah.
that, he was harassing people on
On a subway.
on a subway, you would say, well, that's horrible. He shouldn't have been harassing people. And it could be different opinion for the Marine. There's different ways you can interpret that.
Yeah.
But, the way the media spin it, they want to make it
That
seem
this guy's innocent.
they want to make him
completely.
say, "Oh, do you remember when he did Michael Jackson impersonations?" Like it's like, okay,
Why does
well,
that matter to the case at hand? First
know,
of all,
they're trying to make it a sob story. Like
when
Aiden said.
did journalism on reporting events and turn into Shakespeare?
It's like well, they're almost like the media are activists, not journalists.
Right.
So what they do is
It's transformed into activism. Yes.
they latch onto a narrative.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And just run with it. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Give an inch, take a mile.
Yeah. And another thing is they won't mention, say if the shooter or
where was the Marines' background? They didn't mention anything about that yet.
now, yeah, and
First of all,
we don't know anything about the Marine, but apparently we find all this information out about the person that was harassing people on a subway.
How do you know this dude doesn't have PTSD and he saw a movement that he made that just brought back
Yeah. We don't know much about this Marine. The only thing I think we know about him is that
he's a veteran. So take that into account. A Marine and a veteran. What has he seen?
Yeah, and he
That's what I wanna
does
know.
like training and stuff for the Marines, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's all I know.
Do you know what kind of training? Is it firearms? Is it fighting? Is it...
I think it has to do with fighting, so like combat.
Okay.
Which is impressive. I mean, age 24.
Yeah.
Wow. He's
Probably
our
does
age.
jiu-jitsu and stuff then.
That's crazy. That's probably why he was good at what he did.
Yeah. Again, and I'll just say he should have known to let go of the choke pretty early. But, I mean, again, you're on a subway full of people. A lot of noise is happening.
It's hard to tell if he's choking, too, like with all that noise.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll find out more
Yeah.
when it goes through the court of law. And I'm sure it'll be pushed through pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one, let me see if I can get this doodad going. Of course, this thing probably ain't gonna work. Oh, it did work this time. Of course, the one time I think it's not.
So,
Set. That was from
let's
the Daily
see
Wire.
what we have to do.
Next is another huge thing is the Durham Report.
Yes.
This is from justthenews.com.
The full report has been revealed, guys.
And yeah, we've been waiting for this.
For a while.
I kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you, because there's been so much
It's been
stuff.
so long.
Let's make sure you guys can see this.
From US $22.99.
Oh my gosh. So special counsel John Durham released a damning final report Monday after more than 3 years investigating the Russia collusion probe, declaring the FBI had no verified intelligence or evidence when it opened the Crossfire Hurricane probe of President Donald Trump's campaign in the summer of 2016. The prosecutor, however, recommended no new criminal charges. Quote, neither U.S. law enforcement nor the intelligence community appears to have possessed any actual evidence of collusion in their holdings at the commencement of the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Durham wrote in a 300-plus page report sent to Congress and others that obtained by Just the News. DOJ was slated to make the report public later Monday. The prosecutor faulted the department and the FBI for failing to follow their own standards and allowing a probe to persist, including the surveillance of an American citizen without basis under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Based on the review of Crossfire Hurricane and related intelligence activities, we concluded the department and the FBI failed to uphold their important mission of strict fidelity to the law in connection with certain events and activities described in this report, Durham wrote. The FBI personnel also repeatedly disregarded important requirements when they continued to seek renewals of the FISA surveillance while acknowledging then and in hindsight that they did not genuinely believe there was probable cause is probably what it meant to say. To believe that the target was knowingly engaged in clandestine intelligence activities on behalf of a foreign power.
You can read the full report here, and then there's a link.
I don't know if we want to. Wow, 300 pages though. Jeez.
We're digging. Hold on, let's see what pulls up.
Whoa. Okay.
I feel like I'm on like a freaking I feel like I'm on a freaking CIA site right now. Oh my gosh. We're digging into the weeds, boys.
Look at the signature and everything.
Look at that. Well, no. Subject. Report on matters related to intelligence activities and investigations arising out of the 2016 presidential campaigns.
It's 300. Look how big this document is, dude.
I feel like we're investigative journalists right now, Jared.
Yeah.
We're breaking the mold, guys.
I don't even have time to look through all this.
No, we don't. That was cool. That was
okay,
really
that
cool,
is cool.
actually. They did that live on air. That's so cool.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it.
So, Jared, I had a hard time understanding. What is that saying? Oh, no, let's go back to face cam for a second so that they can see our conversation. So, what's that saying, kind of? And they found no evidence of collusion, basically?
Well, what they were saying was, there's no,
language,
because if you guys remember, the Russia collusion thing was that Trump was colluding with Russia to get elected, to win the election
for whatever reason,
and
what?
And it all alleges. Well, Trump was saying it from day one that Hillary Clinton made this whole entire thing up,
so that she could win,
And it just proved, and of course I didn't read the whole Durham report straight
300
through.
pages long, we'd be here all night.
Yeah, we'd be here all night in order to get that point across. But it proves that Hillary Clinton
is a liar,
first of all, but also was working with the FBI in tandem and also with Obama. Obama was briefed on this whole entire Russia collusion thing. And
don't forget that, by the way, guys.
And so that's messed up, first of all, because you're interfering
someone who's not
with
even in
the
office
American
right now. Like,
he's not even the president yet. He was running, and you had the president of the United States working actively to prevent him from getting into office.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Like, what? Like,
That tells you how messed up
The
our government
Democrats
is, especially the Democrats.
Yeah.
They'll do anything to get into office or to hold power.
Look at Watergate. I mean,
Yep.
so, like, but yeah, like,
Well, another thing.
and then Hillary gets sad because she reads a book about her mom, like,
Oh,
and then Jared had to be like, you know, I think your mom. I'm like, dude.
I was harsh. Looking back at it, dude, I don't know what I was doing. Oh man.
No, but like seriously, I mean, now I kind of agree with you though. Now that I know how corrupt they are.
I don't feel bad for him at all.
No, she should be in jail.
Yeah. Lock her up. Lock her up. Like Trump's been saying that from like long time ago.
Yes.
Day one, probably.
Do you think they ever will?
No. She's never gonna serve jail time, prison time.
Fined?
Maybe. I mean, they'll do that at Trump all day. I mean,
Right,
he'll
that's what
be.
I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know about.
Also, the whole freaking committee that was locked up.
What's that?
The whole Trump's trying to free these people from jail that were locked up during
The Jan 6
Yeah.
people? Yeah, he said
Some
if he
of
got
them
into
won't-
office, he would let him.
Some of them weren't even doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
They would.
Oh, did
Anyway.
you, Oh, the other thing that, before I get onto that thought I was about to
think?
start thinking, that thought I was thinking.
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, I thought.
Think
thought.
thunk. What?
Thonk. That sounds like a sound effect. Thonk.
Thunk. That's gonna be funny enough.
Watch back.
Yeah. Thunk. 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 Oh my.
Nope.
That's gonna be good.
What was I saying?
Anyway.
Trump said something on Truth Social in response to the Durham Report. This is like paraphrasing, but he said something about like, you know, this is proof like with the whole rigging the election thing too, and you know, it backs that whole thing up. And I kind of tend to believe I tend to
And
agree
now, yeah.
with him on that.
Now that it's been released.
Because this kind of stuff came out and people are saying, oh no, there was definitely collusion with the election with Trump and Russia. I mean, it's clear as day, you know? And what are they saying right now? The election was perfectly fine, you know? Trump,
Dude, the American people just didn't like Hillary. That's all there is to it.
and
like-
then Biden.
I can see why.
Well, I was talking about the 2020 election there.
Okay.
I was talking about trying to connect it to that, you know? Because saying that they're saying right now that, oh, it was won fair and square by Biden. 80-some million votes or whatever.
About the whole... Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you're gaslighting us, saying that the election was completely legal, everything was fine. And then what
votes found in the river?
Are we going to get, say Trump gets back in office in 2024, cross their fingers, hope to die kind of thing. But if he does, is he going to investigate? Is he going to get his FBI, his DOJ to investigate this whole election thing?
Is the FBI going to be made useful again?
Yeah. My recommendation is fire everyone at the FBI.
Yeah.
I mean, leave no one there. I mean, you're going to have to replace everybody from the ground up. The FBI is corrupt. CIA corrupt. Get rid of everyone.
CIA's always been corrupt, though. That's nothing new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get rid of
Yeah.
everyone at the CIA, everyone at the FBI, and start fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a clean house, dude. We got a clean. We got to get the brooms out like we're sweeping them out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Break out the brooms. It's a sweep. Just like a baseball reference there.
Yeah.
But
no, well, Joe, what I meant by corrupt those that they like torture people and stuff. That's what I meant.
oh yeah.
Like, so that's nothing new. But
Not like
no,
not the gulag,
but
but similar.
no, yeah, no. I agree with you. Leon, whatever his name is, CIA director, like, no.
Yeah, I don't even know the names, but I know that they're all in bed with the Biden administration. They'll do whatever they want them to do.
Yeah.
The Biden administration can say, "Oh, do this, arrest Trump," and then they just go out
I
and
kind of
attack.
think it's
Arresting political rivals.
I kind of think
bad.
it's the other way around, Joe. To be honest with you,
You think the FBI is running the show
no, the CIA.
or the CIA?
Like, think about what they've done in the past, Joe. Like, with the snap of their fingers, they can bring down governments, and they can like their power is immense.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
always been that way.
Ever since its conception.
Like, we're talking about, Joe, people who did MK Ultra, which is not just from Stranger Things. That was a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
So, like, just think about, like, with that kind of power, like, who you can influence, especially an old 80-something-year-old, like, president.
Yep.
And a vice president who can't stop who can't stop laughing, basically, at everything.
Yeah, you can't
And
take
she can't even form a
No.
coherent sentence, either.
They're both like that.
Right.
Yeah.
The pieces start to line up.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Not to mention that there were probably a bunch of stuff that we don't even think about. Like, basically, like, sorry, I'm on a, I just got finished watching some, spy movies a while ago, so my mind's actually fresh on CIA stuff because of that.
Gotcha.
So no, but it's real that there were a lot of people that infiltrate, like, just, like, life. I mean, I know that, okay, that makes sense in my own mind. Basically, these people. So, okay, here's a thought. Basically, the U.S. government can kill and or influence anyone they want to, like that is my point. They don't need, like, they can cut any red tape they want. They can kill whoever they want. They can influence whoever they want. Like, you can be out on a boat in the middle of nowhere, and a couple of speedboats will just come up on your ship. Some dudes in black suits will come up with guns and just shoot you. And, like, you'll be just, or, even worse, your existence will be erased. Oh, and God forbid that you're an agent, and you go rogue. Oh, you'll be hunted down the rest of your life. You will never be able to get away. Like, people really underestimate. The CIA is scary with how, like, advanced they are and how much they can pull off.
Well, yeah, I was watching a movie the other night.
Jason Bourne is an example that I can think of, but, like...
Yeah, that one and Safe House I watched.
Yeah, yes.
Good movie. I just
Very
watched
good
it the
movie,
other
isn't
night.
it? Yes.
Yeah. That is a great movie. There's a lot of action in that movie.
Yeah,
Very
amazing.
action-packed movie. But yeah, it's CIA is definitely scarier than FBI. But now we're noticing that CIA. We already knew the CIA was corrupt from day one.
Just based on their practices and what they do. Yeah, to
right.
people.
I mean,
yeah.
It's basically like, like the Russian gulag kind of
Right.
thing, But that's the American version.
But it's
of
just
the
more
CIA.
advanced, too.
Yeah.
The technology's more advanced. That's the only difference.
Because I was also, the reason why I mentioned gulag is because I was watching a
Stalin thing?
Cold War
Yeah.
documentary. It's like a 10-part series.
Funny enough,
and
I
it was
did think
kind of
all
like
this
going.
Funny enough, where all these techniques developed, you think, Joe, what time period?
Yeah, during the
War.
Cold War, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was developed after World War II.
Yeah. I mean, and the CIA uses euphemisms like enhanced interrogation. No, it's torture. You just call it enhanced interrogation because it's what's going to be released to the public.
Yeah, you want it to be politically correct enough so then people don't start panicking.
Or God forbid, they look a little bit deeper.
Well, yeah, that too. And also look at the fact how World War I and World War II were not televised wars, right?
Right.
What was
Right.
the first televised war? Wasn't it like
After 9/11.
Wasn't it like Vietnam?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, Vietnam.
And that's why. And
Yeah.
think about the reaction that people had to Vietnam.
Also with the tension with Russia at the time as well, with everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
Korean War.
Yeah.
people forget about that war.
The Forgotten War. That's what it's called for a reason.
So people,
and that's still not over, technically speaking.
That's why, personally, that's why I feel like those two wars were so. People were so against those wars. They were,
especially Vietnam,
because it was televised and they saw the horrors of what war
for the very first
actually
time.
is, and if
not just in movies,
either. And if they saw it real time in World War I or World War II, it would have been the same exact reaction. This is horrible.
Oh, my mom and dad were shocked when they were viewing Iraq footage. When Iraq was invaded.
Yeah.
And that's got the same reaction as Vietnam, actually, from a lot of people.
Yep.
Saying that we should have went into Afghanistan from the start. Which, I mean, I can debate that with you after air, but, I mean, well, that's something we should have done, but my point in that whole thing was that, listen, guys, the CIA has been corrupt for a long time. And they can literally influence anything they want to. And you don't even need, like, an election to even gain power. If you want to just, like, normally what people do, like, if you, like, say that you're an agent, right? And there's a leader in a country that our government doesn't like. Oh, just send him into a hotel where the dude's staying at. Get into his room somehow and just off him.
Yep.
And then literally their whole government collapses. We are pros at, and I've told Jared this before to end this. We are pros. Take Afghanistan and Iraq as an example, guys. We are pros at dismantling governments and then leaving. It's almost imperialist in a sense.
Yep.
Now, with Afghanistan, it's understandable because we were attacked. Like, there's no way we weren't going to get involved, and we should get involved with that.
But what about, like,
like
with
Vietnam? Was that, first of all, Vietnam, was that really, they would really need to...
So, riddle me this, Batman.
Yeah.
What about the Ukraine war? Like, why
are we giving aid to Ukraine?
Well, first of all, that's the biggest question. Like, we should probably... I agree with Trump. Like, we should halt funds over to that because we've given way. I was at first. I was supporting, us, sending supplies in and helping them.
Nation and they were invaded.
But now we kind of achieved our goal.
They have more than enough weapons.
We gave them enough stuff. It's like, okay, at some point you're gonna have to start taking responsibility for what's going on.
Either we're gonna have to let them take responsibility, or we're gonna have to get boots on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't
want... One or two options, and I don't want that.
I don't want
bloodshed.
I don't want the latter. I'd rather have, pull out all support.
They have our
and
stuff now.
And say, all right, we gave you trillions of dollars already, or whatever it was, and you have everything you need.
Yeah.
So you're on your own now.
Yeah.
But anyways, also the other thing I was wondering too was like, why don't we get rid of Putin? Why can't the CIA take him out?
They did it with Bin Laden. Yeah.
Why? Because that would be.
I've suggested that many times.
Now, what about?
Sending
I didn't get
to SEAL Team 6 or like.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about too. They're
the best of the best.
Yeah.
Of the world's most powerful military, mind you.
What about that attempt on Putin's life the other day? Remember when it was like the Kremlin was attacked?
Yeah. Might have been, probably maybe a U.S. drone. Like.
Yeah, we don't know what that was.
Why using drones though? Why?
Well, first of all,
it seems so simple to me.
That was a pathetic attack. First of all,
yeah,
because just judging from the footage, it just blew up the top
of the spire.
Yeah, it's like if you were going to actually kill Putin, you would have had
get
to
people in the building.
You would have been more precise, not just pew, and then like hit like it's like a Star Wars movie, pew, 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 pew. Like just kind of like little tiny.
Use the force seals.
Yeah. It's like hitting Putin up against the wall.
No, it's so simple to me. Like, it's so simple to me. Use a helicopter, rappel down onto the roof, go up a couple flights of stairs, fight a couple guys, and then maybe lose a soldier or two, but then you get them. Because the only reason I say lose a soldier is because it's not just terrorists we're dealing with. It's an actual government that we'd have to fight.
Right.
Which then, okay, that would bring up
get us involved because they'd be like,
with
oh, well,
Russia
this
against
is
an
American.
attack. Yeah, attack.
This has been an American attack on our sovereign government or whatever, and then that would escalate us. So that's probably why the CIA
we're not
is
doing
not
it.
doing it.
But they still could, though, Joe. They're secretive enough. They could definitely do it.
We always divert blame away from us anyways.
Well, experts.
Same thing. The Russians are like, we didn't do that. They did that during the Cold War all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
we are both experts at it.
yeah, we're both experts at lying and deceiving.
We don't even have footage from the Bin Laden raid for a reason. And that's just a ragtag group of terrorists. You could bet your ass that they wouldn't release any footage of the Putin raid, is what I'm going to call it, if that was even a thing that happens.
Now, I don't even think that,
It would be a big operation, though, to have to do, though. I mean, think about it. It's not just a small compound in Pakistan. You're attacking, the Kremlin.
And you know what, dude?
That's...
I don't think Putin is even going to get taken out by his own people at this point. I think he's going to just die of cancer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's alleged right now that he has cancer. I don't know how true those claims are.
I might just be watching propaganda and make us feel sympathy.
Or make us think like, oh, he's on his way out the door or something and get hope or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what I do know, and this is just kind of a viewing from the whole history of Russia, right?
Yeah.
The whole time, it was USSR, Soviet Union, all that lovely stuff. Looking back all that way, the Russian government's been corrupt. It has been overthrown multiple times.
Yeah.
Because
multiple coups.
What the Bolsheviks. Yeah, Bolsheviks.
Yeah. Russian Revolution.
Yeah, I mean, they've had so many overturns of power in that country. I mean, it's
Marxism
just
was a thing for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah, they're one of the most unstable governments in the entire world. In terms, if you look at them from...
I would feel scared to be a citizen in Russia.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen there. And also, you don't know, say, if Putin is gone, who's coming up after him? The next guy might be worse.
Yeah.
We think Putin's bad.
Yeah.
What about, let's Kamala Harris and Biden, it's
Lord.
We thought Biden was bad, but Kamala's
Yeah, but this country, one of them's a murderous psychopath.
Yeah.
So...
No, I mean, they're not comparable, but...
No, but anyway, one of them's actually evil.
Yeah.
Blatantly evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's that rant.
I mean, we can always go back into the Russia-Ukraine conflict anytime.
If there's anything we find worth covering.
Oh, for sure.
If there's a tactical nuke used, which I feel that there will be.
Oh God, I hope
that
not.
we're gonna cover that because there's no way that we can't.
Yeah, we're not gonna ignore that. That's for sure.
But let's talk about fallen police officers.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to read this one, Aiden?
Sure. Let me pull up my phone here, bruh.
Are you?
Oh wait, I can. Never mind. I can see this.
Can you see that?
No, I get it. Yes, I can see that.
I just want to make sure. I can see it from here, but
Democratic Michigan Representative Rashida
Tlaib
and Missouri Representative
Corey
Bush voted against a resolution Tuesday that would have honored fallen police officers. The two members of the progressive group, the Squad, were the only lawmakers to vote against the resolution during National Police Week and said the resolution had nothing to do with the safety or support of law enforcement officers or first responders. The resolution is for National Police Week and recognized, quote, law enforcement officers across the United States in the pursuit of preserving safe and secure communities and continual unseen acts of sacrifice and heroism. It also expressed condolences and solemn appreciation to the families of fallen law enforcement officers. The resolution included the names of 556 law enforcement officers who were killed in 2021 and 2022. Let us be clear. The health and safety of every one of our community members, including our first responders, is a top priority for us. But this resolution is not a referendum on support for the safety of first responders. It is a document intended to advance Republicans' false narrative around supporting law enforcement and gaslight the public about where they stand, the two lawmakers said in a joint statement. What?
That they literally contradicted themselves there. They said, "Let us be clear: the health and safety of every one of our community members, including our first responders, is top priority." Okay, so it's a top priority. Okay, but they said that Republicans are just trying to pass this because for a false narrative around supporting law enforcement.
Okay, then tell us what it is. First of all,
we've
always supported our officers. First of all, look at Jared's hat. First of all,
yeah,
like come on now. Should have worn your blue line hat, Jared.
Yeah, I think I have it over here somewhere. Or maybe it's...
He has a blue line hat, though, so yes. No, point being, no, we've always supported our law enforcement.
Yeah.
And that ain't never gonna change.
It's like...
How dare you?
Why did Cori Bush and Rashida Tlaib just vote against a simple resolution to honor law enforcement officers during National Police Week?
Wait,
how come
question.
And how come this is the first time I'm hearing about this?
Yeah.
National Police Week. Because first of all,
I don't think we need to win anymore. I think that's it.
First of all, let me go off here.
Please do. Yes.
So, what month is coming up here? Right?
Pride Month.
Not Prime Month. Pride Month.
I wish it was Prime Month. You get all the free orders on Amazon.
Free orders.
Discount. Yeah. Yes. But no.
No.
And our birthdays happen to be on this month. Gosh darn it. God, why did you...
Okay, let me continue what I was saying.
Go off, please.
So
no, I know what you're gonna say too. We can have a month dedicated to. It makes me so angry. Yes.
Why?
Why?
Okay. So first
what
of all,
have they done for their flag? First of all,
and first off, we're gonna talk about how Pride Month, we should celebrate it all month, but we can't celebrate 1 week for law enforcement.
You and me are gonna celebrate Pride Month, Joe. You better believe it. We're gonna celebrate Pride Month. No, but seriously, wait,
like why
a day?
First of all, dude, like I just said, this is the first time I was hearing about National Police Week.
Yeah, not even from Daily Wire. They didn't
not even from Daily Wire. That shows you that like no publications are covering it.
Right.
Which is like, well, why? Because that's huge. I mean,
maybe cop newsletters or whatever, but like
that's probably about it.
The newspaper said the cops get while they're in the station, just like, hey, it's National Police Week. No, but seriously, like, why is this not making news?
It's not.
There should be parades going on.
Yeah,
across the country.
Yeah,
with
like supporting police officers. Yeah. Like why?
The whole classic thing with the NYPD with bagpipes and
them
marching in the.
Oh, but God forbid that we don't have
forget
every
about Pride Month.
God forbid we forget about Pride Month and we don't have every single company celebrate it and proclaim their wokeness.
Have U.S. Olympic athletes wear rainbow-colored jerseys.
And you
wait, USA soccer team.
You can't watch a TV network without the logo randomly turning to rainbows on the screen. You know, you're like watching Paramount Plus, and all of a sudden the Paramount logo changes colors.
Goes up off on a cloth.
Like, you know. And that's all just...
Not to mention it's screwing up God's symbol.
Yep, hijacking the rainbow for your own political gain.
It ticks me off so much, Judd.
Like, I don't understand.
It makes me so mad.
Like, why do we got to be stuck, like, celebrating these months that we don't care about? Like,
yeah.
And people expect...
Black History Month, I understand, because that actually was a problem. But I don't know. I mean...
Like...
Judd, what are your opinion on the Stonewall riots? Have you heard of those?
I recall that. What do you remember what that's about? Okay, come back into the mic and then talk.
It's a gay riot. I don't know specifically, but I think it was the first instance of that community basically rising up, I guess. And they took that and, like, they really started to, like, That's where the term pride, I guess, came from. With these
Okay.
Stonewall riots.
Yeah.
I think. Let me just make sure I'm not wrong here.
I'm not
Yeah, I'm not an expert either. Yeah, it was a 1969 spontaneous uprising for gay rights. It was in response to a police raid that began in the early morning hours of June 28, 1969. Patrons of the Stonewall and other gay bars fought back when the police became violent. So it seems to me that the police are just going into these places that were like gay bars and stuff, and then they were just rebelling against it. Which I guess that's where the whole pride in your identity started.
Yep.
It was the late 60s. Funny enough, when all the drugs also were allowed, and,
Yep.
the 60s.
60s was like, peace, man, kind of thing. That leading right into the 70s.
But still, like a whole month?
Well, and the thing is, they have that also Trans Day of Visibility or something. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they're invisible. I didn't know that. It's like,
Where'd
it's
you
like
go?
it's so stupid.
Oh, here you are.
On this
Found
one day,
you.
you are visible to me,
And then you go back into nothing.
and then you're
Like,
invisible
what a way to
again.
view yourself. Like,
Yeah, it's like only this one day I'm visible. The
I
rest of the
exist.
day
Like,
is like
how
everyone.
sad is that?
Well, and what is also sad is how we have to have like every single week is basically something to do with the LGBTQ crap. There's
Yeah.
always some other holiday that they got going on.
And it's never happy either, mind you.
Well,
That's
dude,
what's sad about it. It's about people who are abused or like it's never about like, oh, I helped someone cross the street or
and
you
also
know-
you can't,
or giving back to the community.
and it's also like thrown on your TV. It's
I mean, at least
in
I
your
haven't seen
face.
it. I mean,
It's-
at least I haven't seen it.
well, I mean, I have seen like celebrate, be you, that kind of stuff on TV.
The Hershey crap, yeah.
That kind of things. Like every single, just wait. June 1st, all those commercials are going to launch on TV,
Oh gosh, and the drag stuff is gonna
and you're not going
amp
to,
up too since that's been starting.
yep,
so,
drag stuff is going to amp up. You're going to have more drag people showing up to, thankfully it's going to be summer, so you're not going to have much school going on. But, if it was school time, you'd have a bunch of drag queens going to these schools, doing drag queen story hour, that kind of crap.
Yeah.
And thankfully it would be summer by the time it rolls around, but it just sucks that it has to be our birthday month.
Right.
Like, goodness gracious.
If you guys, and I'm saying this 50% sarcastically and 50% not, but listen, if you guys in the comments can actually explain why Pride Month is so important from a pussicatorial level, I would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to tell me stories from Stonewall that you were at, I would love to hear it. Because I'm always open to a discussion. If we're one and you guys actually had to fight for your flag, let us know. But it seems to me that you guys don't. It seems to me that,
it doesn't seem like they would have had to fight along the same lines of
like a
how
soldier.
the American
yeah, absolutely
flag.
not. Yeah.
They didn't.
No.
The only time that they're bringing up guns and whatnot is in response to shooting up the Christian schools and whatnot.
Right.
And speaking of, hold off on that for a second, because we don't even know the manifesto of the school shooter, and yeah, it's messed up. Oh, but if it was a white supremacist, we know everything.
Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah, we know everything about this shooter.
Not condoning it, just so you know,
Yeah.
guys. Not condoning it, but yeah.
We would know
The
everything.
mainstream media would, yes, go nuts on it, yes.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to know, some of these
Details.
other details of crazy lunatics like this person that shot up a Christian school.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That brings up a whole nother thought in my head.
What?
Pride Month might, make those kind of shootings go up.
Be like a Pride Month of vengeance kind
Yeah.
of thing? Yeah. Well, that's certainly not going to help their case
No, if they
for
do.
the Pride
yeah.
Month, because they'll be like, well, why aren't you celebrating Pride Month? Because you're lunatics.
Right.
That's why. You got a bunch of libtards that celebrate this holiday. bunch of people that, they all they care about is the destruction of the American way of life.
Yeah.
Basically destroying our society. We've talked about this multiple times that it, really eats at the whole founding of our country and like society as a whole. Just every single society. I mean, like you look at other countries that ban this kind of stuff, like China. Like, why do you think they ban it? Because they look at the U.S.
They
and
know
like,
what
this
it
crap,
causes.
this crap is happening to the U.S. I'm gonna make sure that we ban any.
And it's easier
gay
for them to
stuff.
invade us too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we'll continue on with wrap it up here. See what else we got.
we covered all the political stuff, I feel.
And then Aiden had something funny to talk about. Right?
Myself, yes.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
About this AI music, right?
Yeah, so
Let me see if I can get this going here.
excuse me.
That was the most disgusting thing I've heard.
Oh, stop.
Oh, stop.
We'll talk like that the whole Pride Month while
Don't talk like that.
Well, reviewing how what we're doing our show. So
Actually,
no cap, like
no cap.
this is gonna help with writer's block.
No cap. I hate that. That makes me cringe.
No cap.
Yeah,
no cap. It makes you cringe.
No
dude.
cap, man. That makes me cringe. Here, let me make a small adjustment.
Like, let me adjust this screen. It's like being so finicky.
Yeah. Anyways, what did you have to read? Or
yeah. From the arrival of MP3, this is the article, guys, obviously. From the arrival of MP3 players in the 90s to the birth of iTunes in the early 21st century, we all hoped for another music revolution, but this isn't quite what we expected. Things have been moving in the world of AI music. With AI replicating the music of some of the planet's most popular artists to streaming services being plagued by bots that fake listen to boost streams. The music industry is rattled, but not everybody's feeling the trembles of the fear brought on by AI. In an interview with British publication Radio Time, Pet Shop Boys vocalist Neil Tennant, David Tennant's sibling,
long lost brother.
oh my gosh, suggested that AI might not be such a bad thing after all. The 68-year-old said that the technology could come in handy to an artist as they write their songs.
Interesting.
There's a song we wrote a chorus for in 2023, and we never finished
Or
because
2003.
okay. In 2000, I was born. By a couple decades, by a decade or so, and we never finished because I couldn't think of anything for the verses. Tennant told Radio Times, but now with AI, you can give it the bits you've written, press the button, have it fill in the blanks. You might then rewrite it, but it could nonetheless be a tool. But Tennant is not a lone voice in the industry. In February, chart-topping disc jockey David Guetta, let's go, said that the future of music is in AI. This after he took the help of two AI websites to replicate Eminem's voice for a rap on one of his live shows. What on earth?
Okay.
Industry feels human artists will be left behind. Songwriting is sacrosanct to most artists. The use of copyrighted songs requires permission from the artist and the copyright owner, without which the artist's identity and likability are on the line. Emphasizing the same, University Music Group recently emailed a strongly worded statement to streaming services. Quote, the training of generative AI using our artists' music, as well as the availability of infringing content created with generative AI on DSPs, begs the question as to which side of history all stakeholders in the music ecosystem want to be on. The side of artists, fans, and human creative expression, or on the side of deep fakes, fraud, and denying artists the due compensation. This came after an AI-generated song called Heart on My Sleeve went viral. A TikTok user posted the song using cloned voices of Drake and The Weeknd, both represented by UMG, on its profile, which went viral overnight.
Anything else?
Not really. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty much it for the
Yeah.
article.
What do you think about that, Jared?
Okay, first of all, that's pretty cool, but kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about AI creating music instead of someone sitting down and writing out lyrics and music notes and whatnot.
Maybe that's what all those mumble rappers do.
Yeah,
When they talk about nothing.
right.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Yeah, guys in AI wrote that. But no, it's definitely going to change things. I mean, it is a tool. The best kind of AI is one that can work with humans in tandem, not just by itself.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, a lot. It's interesting because if we had AI, imagine if we had AI back in school, dude.
Yeah.
Like you and me, like, I mean, it shows you how fast AI has grown as an industry.
Yeah.
Because people were using AI to write essays and all this now.
ChatGPT.
GPT. Like, imagine if we were in high school and we said, "Oh, write an essay on like gun control or something."
Oh. From a conservative point of view.
From a conservative point of view, and then it writes it all out, and then you just turn it in. But you tell them how many pages you want this
thing to be.
to be. Now the question is,
what?
Then it's done. Like you're done. You don't have to worry about like writing it out, spending hours working on it.
Yeah.
We wasted all of our time doing that. We could have just used ChatGPT if we
Gosh,
if we only had it.
Right.
God, that sucks.
It sucks to not be able to cheat. Doggone it.
Darn it. But you know what's really weird though is what I kind of wondered. Remember that whole system Lake had with like checking to make sure there was no copyright in your stuff?
That does exist for AI if you're going to ask, yes. There are systems being made to be able to detect
because
if an AI wrote your essay or not, yes. There are systems
so you
being
think
made
the system that Lake has implemented right now would be able to detect it?
No, they're going to have to do something new with it.
Because, see, I would like to test it out personally if I had access to the same system that Lake had, that I could say, okay, ChatGPT, write me an essay on, abortion laws in the country or something.
Yeah.
And then, so just something random. And then, so it writes it out. Then you submit it into the system and then see if it scans it and if it picks up anything like that. Because, say, you don't want to take the cheap route and say, okay, I'm going to use ChatGPT, and then you get in trouble by the school, and they said, well, you didn't cite any of your sources. This is all,
we were beaten over the head with the citing the sources thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're saying you're going to be kicked out of the school, you're going to fail, that kind of stuff. And college was the same way for me. When I was in college, they beat you over the head with the whole, you got to cite your sources. It's got to be cited exactly correctly. Otherwise, it is not legitimate, and which is the dumbest thing. It's like you got to
That's why when I write, if I were to write essays in college, I'd always just do my perspective on it. Just so that way.
Well, they want you to have sources, though. They want you to pull it from other places. So you're required to. Otherwise, I would just obloviate and, make up whatever I think.
Yeah. That's what they do all the... I don't know. That's ass backwards to me, but whatever.
I really, again, that's why I hated writing so much, and I'm probably why a lot of other students hated it too.
Yeah. It just sucks.
And also, I had a really bad experience too in college with one professor. It was a writing professor, and she...
Oh, no.
I'm not going to name names. I don't even remember her name, to be honest with you. But even if I remember her name, I would not say it over the air. Just, not to call her out. But she was at Kent State, and she was, like, in my first semester or something. And it was a requirement to take her course. And she basically just set the stage right out, and she was honest with us. She's like, I honestly don't know why I went into this major. She's like, I wish I didn't go to college for this. I should have went to college for something else. And
wow, what an introduction.
Yeah, and it's like, wow,
way to get us excited for writing, man.
Yeah, and so the whole semester, she just, sat up there and and just kind of handed us different prompts, and she's like, "Here you go, write this, do Monday or whatever."
What?
And then it's like, and then she got get pissed off at us if we didn't cite her sources correctly or something.
What in the world?
But she didn't really. She really hated her job.
You can tell, yeah.
I mean, obviously, she was so. It wasn't no speculation about it. I mean, she outright said she hated her job.
Yeah.
And she spent all the student loans and whatever on school, and it's a waste of money and all this. And it's like,
shouldn't have went to college if you didn't want to do it.
It's like, I'm sorry. That's what, you went to school for it.
Yeah.
That's what you chose to do. I'm sorry that you hate your job so much, but why you got to make us feel so bad?
You chose it, yeah.
I mean, that really sets you off on the wrong foot, especially if it's your first semester.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to expect, and you're like, wow, is every professor like this? Do they all hate their lives?
Like,
Is
there ones that didn't, Jude?
There's really professors that honestly cared about your well-being and your learning experience. Other professors, I had multiple professors that just did not care.
What was your favorite?
My favorite professor was in my major, and he was like he came back from a music background mostly.
Hey, okay.
So he was a big audio guy.
Yeah.
And but he was like, that in that class we did a lot of sound effects and stuff for movies.
Yes.
I think I showed you that we reenacted scenes from Avengers.
Yes.
We did one scene there. It was complicated actually. It was only one scene or two, two or three scenes, but it took us a long time because there's a lot of different things you got to think about, like different sound effects that go into a movie. Because all those sound effects you see on screen or here,
post-production.
it's all post-production.
Yeah.
A lot of this you hear like a foot hitting the ground. Usually that's someone in post-production, not an actual foot seen on screen that's making that noise.
Yeah.
So it's things you don't think about, and you're like, I didn't know
what?
that.
Yeah.
No wonder why movies take so long.
Why? That's crazy.
But yeah, it also took us long because we, only had 4 or 5 of us on the one project at a time.
Oh my!
We were all split up on. We got to choose different movies we wanted to do. So we chose the Avengers. My group did.
Yeah.
It was a fun course. I had fun with it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I was just thinking about if Aiden and I were both in that class, we would both have a blast.
Fart noises the whole time.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie. Oh. That's why you spit your milk though. Oh wait,
That was water.
That's not. Never mind.
Nope.
Never mind.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I think that's good, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight, guys. We didn't get to everything we had, but we got to the important stuff.
Yes.
And
it was a dang good talk too. So.
Oh yeah, it was. We had good conversations tonight. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode of Off the Grid Headlines.
Yes.
And we'll be back on probably next week on Headlines again.
Yes.
And we'll cover whatever new happened during the past week. So stay tuned for that, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
See ya.